Hey, what's up, guys? Figured I'd do a hunting update vlog. This past weekend was opening season on archery, and wanted to give you guys a little story about archery hunting there. We went did an evening hunt Saturday, kind of late evening hunt. I had to work Saturday and Sunday, so we did evening hunt Saturday, Sunday. So Saturday I took my uncle out with me and went out bow hunting, and I had been archery hunting. I started, let's see, year before last, so this was my third year archery hunting, and I've never shot an animal archery during archery season. I've never killed anything with my bow, other than I smacked the beak of a turkey during turkey season this year. So he's been hunting, he said, about 45 years or so, and he's never killed anything archery. He's killed a lot of stuff rifle season. He's been out of state, done a lot of trips, so I killed a lot of animals, but just never got a chance to get anything with a bow. So he told me a lot of the tales of the failed attempts and all the little things, all the Murphy's Law stuff that goes wrong when you're in the heat of the moment and you're trying to figure everything out. Archery season, and I say archery is definitely a whole lot tougher than rifle season, because A, you got to get close enough to something, and B, everything's got to go right when you're shooting archery. I mean, you have to do everything right. There's so many things that could be wrong with your form, or just little, minute details that you miss while your adrenaline's pumping. That is the difference between a hit and a miss. It doesn't take much shooting a bow to miss. So I put a lot of time in. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram or not, but I post a lot of pictures of me practicing, and I've done a lot of practice this year. Really honing in, trying to hone in my bow skills. Sound like Napoleon Dynamite, bow skills. But I've been shooting a lot. Restrung my bow and put a new sight on. I had actually since the end of last season. I shoot an IQ sight, which I can't recommend enough for guys like me that are struggling, or kind of coming into archery. It has a little eye in it that tells you if you're torquing your hand or not. And it could be such a small, minute detail that I feel good, my hand position, everything, and I look up, my eyes off, the little eye indicator, and then I'll kind of relax my hand or do whatever it takes to get that thing zeroed, and I was off, and I don't even feel it, So I switched to I had the 7-pin, just IQ hunter sight, and I went to the XT Pro or something like that. It sits out farther. I could run a standard size peep now, where I had to run kind of an oversized peep on the other one because it was such a big sight face on it. So I went with the XP. It extends out. It's got smaller pins and it's got a smaller eye, so you have to be, even more exact when you shoot that thing to get that eye lined up. So really kind of a tattletale on your hand position and everything else, and your anchor points and stuff. So I had to work with that thing and get it sighted in, because I decided to switch like 5 or 6 weeks before the season started. So genius idea, but I put the work in. I got my pins down. Got everything set. Got my eye in the sight all set, and I've been really, trying to hammer out form more than anything. And I had to man up and decide, hey, I need to turn this bow down a little bit. It was 70 pound. It was maxed out. It's a Matthews Halon 6. It was maxed out 70 pounds, and I could pull it no problem. But holding it, if I sat there and didn't get everything lined up and I had to kind of fiddle with it, I'd get a little shake. And I could only shoot maybe, say 30 arrows at a time and not start getting that fatigue wobble. So I could only, work for about the first 30 arrows, and then I had to stop if I had to do any kind of sight adjustment, and just shoot if I wanted to, but not really count them, per se. So I dropped it down 2 turns, so it's probably drawn 65, 66 pounds. And it made just such a dramatic difference in how easy I could pull it back, hold it. I could shoot pretty much start to finish as long as I wanted to and not get that shake, from fatigue. So, once I did that, I really started kind of shrinking my groups up, because I could put more time in at one range session, get my adjustments done, everything like that. So anyways, bows dialed. I mean, long story short there, bows dialed. Put a lot of time in. I'm really feeling confident with it now, for the first time. So anyways, we go out, we hunt Saturday. We didn't really see anything that we get close enough to take a shot on. Seen 2 bucks that day, Saturday, but nothing, they said nothing we can get remotely close to. Sunday, did another evening hunt. Trying to think, Yeah, Sunday night. So it was Sunday night. My wife went with me. So me and her went out. Seen a fork and horn bedded. Got to close the gap. Got to 66 yards on it. It was still bedded. I've been just absolutely hammering targets at 70 yards. I mean, if you look at my Instagram post, I posted, I think, a pic of my 70-yard group, and I'm shooting 3 arrows, 70 yards, probably about 3-inch group. So I'm feeling really confident at this point at 70 yards. 80 and 90, I'm doing pretty good too, but 70 kind of is the end of where I'm just dialed. I can really hammer something at 70. So I get in, I range it, I get 66 yards. It's bedded down. I draw back on it, and it's kind of like bedded with its butt more towards me, kind of an angle. Drawing it, don't have a real good shot the way it's bedded because its hips kind of taking up a lot of what space I can see on the deer. So I'm holding back probably about 30-40 seconds of me holding. He's looking at me, at that point after I draw. He stands up. When he stands up same way, kind of a funny angle. And I'm trying to ingrain in myself, from so much pistol shooting and everything, seems like I always square up a deer during rifle season and gut shot him. And just, shoot him like center mass, just from years and years and years of handgun shooting. So I usually have to take a second shot and shoot him up higher, close to the heart or shoulder area. So I, really had that hammered in me. I got to shoot forward. I'm tired of cleaning freaking blow up stomachs and stuff and deer when you're gutting them and stuff. It's gross. And so he stands up. What I can see clearly is the base of his neck, where his neck meets his body. And I thought, well, that's a good shot, So I come in, I'm feeling really good. It's kind of a small area, but I'm feeling really good. I pull in, and I start to get a little bit of that adrenaline shake in my hand, and I kind of pull back, put another 3 or 4 pounds per se, back on the bowstring, kind of lock everything out. So I take that shake out of my hand, because at this point, I'm thinking, man, it's actually going to happen, Got everything squared up, feeling good, anchor point. Look at my, it's like reference everything on my bow. My hand's good, my eye's good, a little eye on my sight. My level's good, anchor point feels good. I mean, it's this little mental checklist I was going through why he was bedded. And he stands up, put the bead on him, squeeze the arrow, and it was really weird because practicing, I can see the fletchings. You're looking at the target, you kind of catch the fletchings in your corner of your eye. Well, I was shooting from a little shaded point through sunlight into him shaded, and it was just this weird thing seeing this fletching just light up like a laser coming into my vision as I'm watching him. And my wife was watching him through the binoculars, and it just was like magic, man. And then whack, it hits this thing, and you hear that smack. And when you hear that smack, it's just golden, And it stuck him. I aimed at the base of the neck. It hit maybe 2 inches up a little higher on his neck, on his body or whatever, and he just dropped like a sack of potatoes right where he stood. He didn't make it nowhere. He just dropped, kicked a little bit, and he was done. So it was an awesome shot, man. It was just almost euphoric to see that arrow just and hear that sound and watch that deer just drop. So it was great. I mean, I was ecstatic. Was really just excited, and I'm not a real excitable person, but I felt good, I was like, man, it finally came together. I did what I had to do. I did all my stuff right, and all the pieces fit, and all that practice paid off, and all that money spent on bow equipment and all that kind of stuff all paid off. So great day. Got that thing, got it gutted. I took some pictures. I didn't post them on Instagram. I posted a picture of the bloody arrow, because to me it's during rifle season, if you get an entry wound, you can kind of flip them over and you can stage them good for a picture. In fact, if you see my video from last year, I kind of put my gun over the entry wound and you really didn't see anything. And to me, I almost feel it's disrespectful to the animal, to post a picture of it just hammered. And this thing with a broadhead, let me tell you, creates just an atrocious wound, So, and hitting it in the neck like that, it was a bloody mess. So I didn't feel it was right. I mean, I took some pictures for my records, obviously, but I didn't feel it was right to kind of put it out there on my Instagram and do a video and stuff, because there wasn't a good side of the deer. There wasn't anywhere of hiding. I couldn't put my bow over it and stuff. So to me, I just felt it was kind of disrespectful at that point to the animal. And so I didn't post pictures of the deer. It was a little fork and horn. It wasn't a huge deer by any means. It was forked on both sides, and it had some decent mass to it. It was kind of a big, or a little bit of mass to the actual forks. They weren't very tall, but they were kind of big around. So it was a good deer. I dropped it off, had a process. So that was my D6 tag. So we go back Monday, and I take my uncle back with me, and we're hunting around, you know, doing this, doing that, scouting here, scouting there, and we come across a pack of 5 bucks. There was 3 spikes, a small forky, and a real tall forky. I mean, the rack was tall. It was probably 18 inches or so. I mean, it was a good tall rack, nice, you know, big forks, full velvet. So it's his shot, you know. So we get up there, we get him to 55 yards. He's range it for him. He pulls back, lets it go, and it hits like 15 yards underneath him. And I was like, what in the world, you know? And for some crazy reason, those deer only moved about 2 yards. They just kind of tensed up, stepped a little bit, and then looked at us. Well, he had time. He knocked another arrow, pulled back, shot. I called him 55 yards. He shot and just absolutely plowed this thing square in the shoulder. I mean, you could practice 10 shots and never take a better shot than that was. It was amazing. It came in right at his like armpit, shoulder area, and went through. And didn't get a pass through. Actually, broke the other shoulder on the other side, and it made it about 30 yards and just dumped, piled up, and just smacked, and actually fell and hit a rock, or when it actually broke one of his antlers, which is kind of a bummer because he's wanting to do like a Euro mount or something like that. It's his first archery buck ever, you know. And to see that guy's reaction after that was just classic. I mean, I almost have to figure out what's better, shooting your own deer or seeing somebody like that shoots their first buck like that gets so emotional. It was just an awesome experience to be, you know, there and with them to see that, you know. So I would say it's almost a tie, you know, whether you're smacking your own buck or seeing somebody get their first buck like that and just enjoy the experience of doing it, you know. And it was just a neat thing to watch. And so we got that thing, got it tagged, got it all cleaned up, came home, dropped it off the processor. So that was my opening 3 days of archery. I still got a D5 tag left. My wife still got her 2. She don't do hunt archery. She's got a bow, but she didn't put in the time to practice this year. So she's not drawing enough weight back and stuff on her bow, so she couldn't archery hunt. So she went with me, and she got me to see me smack that. So maybe it'll motivate her a little bit for next year to get the dust off that bow and get to shooting, and maybe she can join me archery hunt next year. So. But I just wanted to give an update. Like I said, that's why I didn't do a video. And with the hectics of archery hunting, you know, there'd be no way to try to film the actual hunt. At least for me, I'm too lost as far as trying to get yardage down, get close enough, get everything set. You know, so there was no way of me getting footage of the actual hunt. And like I said, pictures of the deer afterwards, I just didn't feel was appropriate to post, just because that broadhead did its job, and it did a doozy on that thing. Both instances, his was the same way. It just annihilated that deer. Like I said, it made it 30 yards and it was done. Really devastating wounds. He was using a Rage hypodermic, and I was using a G5 T3 3-blade mechanical on mine, and both performed excellent. Both of them opened. You know, all 3 of my blades deployed. Both his blades deployed. I mean, it was just textbook after the fact. You know, they did their job and they were done. So it was a good, clean, ethical kill on both shots. So that's what you hope for as a hunter, is a nice ethical, you know, fast kill. You know, you don't want to wound and maim and stuff like that and let them suffer. So everything went good. So I still got a D5 tag. I'm gonna do some more archery hunting here. And try to fill it archery. I don't know if I'll get another chance like that or not, but if I do, I'm gonna take it, and then we'll focus rifle season on filling my wife's tags, and if not, we'll both hunt rifle season. So anyways, guys, just wanted to update you that. It was an awesome opening 3 days of archery for us. And like I said, that's why there's no pics and stuff. It was just too hammered to really kind of put out there as far as pics go. But if you follow me on Instagram, you can see the pictures of some of my groups I post and my bloody arrow. My Instagram's the same as my channel, Dennis1979GM on Instagram. And anyways, guys, just wanted to update. Things are going awesome, better than I actually hoped for the season. Didn't think I'd get a buck this early in it, but things are going good, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. And Montana, the end of end of October, I got a deer combo tag up there, so maybe I can get you some footage up there. If not from the hunt, maybe up what we're doing and scouting and stuff like that. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I know I rambled on, but it was an exciting time there for those 2 days of hunting. So Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.